right, welcome back. Now we're going to tackle the difficulties of finding and fixing a leak in CPVC. Now, unlike normal PVC, CPVC can be used to carry fresh water, hot or cold. You'll find it occasionally. It's not super common, but we do find it once in a while. It does have some downsides. It develops a pretty high level of rigidity. Right now it's fairly flexible, but after a couple of years at the most of installation, if I were to bend it that far, it would pop like crazy. And it also doesn't, once it starts hardening up, it doesn't want to cut with the traditional pipe cutters very well. It takes a little more finesse to do a repair. So keep that in mind when you're going in to cut out a bad section to do a repair, that you may have to take your time, use some different tools, maybe use a hacksaw type tool instead of the pipe cutters, and that might put you in a little better position to get a nice clean cut. Now, similar to PVC, it uses a glue to glue fittings together to the pipe. But unlike a regular PVC, there are some places, and you always have to check your local codes, but most places you don't need to use a primer. You can just use an all-in-one type cement like this and be good to go. Should I show the cement like this? Yeah, now we're talking. Okay, now its fittings, there's a wide variety of fittings. These are the two most common ones you're going to use all the time, a standard 90-degree L and a coupling fitting that allows you to attach two ends. These are going to become a part of your life in the process of repairing and maintaining CPVC. To glue them, you basically want to make sure you've got a nice clean straight cut. You're going to apply the cement to both the fitting and the end of the pipe. We'll put it on the pipe first. I want to make sure it's coated good. You're trying for good coverage with no puddling. Puddling is a bigger deal inside the fitting. And then I'm going to just put it around the inside of the fitting on the side we're going to use. And then after just a few moments, when it's started to dry up, you put another coat over it, another coat inside the fitting, and then press and hold together for 30 seconds. And you want to press it down until it stops and hold it together for 30 seconds. Now I always look for the nearest writing. In this case it says Jeff for some reason. Apparently I have Jeff's pipe. So Jeff, wherever you are, we appreciate your CPVC and we hope you're having a great day. But recognizing a word and some letters there, I can watch the fitting in the pipe as it's curing, and I can tell if the cement is pushing it apart. And you'll tell because the gap between the fitting and the J, in this case a J, will grow larger and larger as the fitting is being pushed off. That initial push off is what you're trying to resist by holding it together for 30 seconds. Seems like I rarely hold it together for that long, but that is what their instructions are. Now, once that's on, it only needs a few minutes to cure before it can be subjected to normal waterline pressure, and you should be good to go. Now, an alternative way to repair a damaged section would be to cut out that small section using the cutters here, which I want you to be careful with because they will cut you. They're fairly sharp. I kind of twist the pipe and twist the cutters as I go to get a nice clean pass through. And if it had a burst section or a cracked section, then we would need to make an additional cut. Now, some of the other sections we've talked about SharkBite fittings. This is a SharkBite fitting. It is essentially a mechanical sleeve fitting. It comes in straight couplers like this. It comes in L's. It comes in T's. It comes in with SharkBite fittings on the end of control valves and shutoff valves. It's really a lot of variance to this product. They're wonderful. I want to hug it, but it's kind of small. But you get how affectionate I feel about the SharkBite fitting. So basically with the SharkBite fitting, you're simply going to press it into place, but we're going to use this tool from the same company to mark how deep the fitting needs to go. You just slide it over the end of the pipe, make a mark like so, and use that mark as your guide for how deep the SharkBite fitting needs to go. Now, we'll wiggle it around and push it. There it is. We've got plenty of distance. Sometimes it'll get closer to that mark and sometimes it won't. Right now that is bedded all the way. So it is good to go. Now on the other side we need to make a similar mark because heaven forbid it might not be on all the way. That is the only time, for the record, that I've ever seen SharkBite fittings leak in years and years of using them, is when they weren't pushed on all the way. So make sure they go on all the way. Good to go. We're nice and tight. That is a permanent fix. It can be hidden behind wall surfaces and finished surfaces. It can be relied upon for years, code accepted, except in California, I think. You have to check your local regulations there. I seriously think California is the only place right now where you can't use SharkBite fittings. If you can get them at your local hardware store, then that means they've been code approved in your area for the most part. Now, if you ever need to remove a SharkBite fitting, you need one of these tools right here. And this tool basically just clamps over the pipe, and it presses against this small sleeve right here at the base of the SharkBite fitting. So you press it in place, you push it, and I'm pulling on the pipe, or you can pull on the fitting. Lots of twisting motion, but it will eventually come off again. Now, as you can see, when I push it on and pull, yeah, it's about as hard as I can pull. That ain't coming off. But with these, the ability to release these, it allows you a lot of flexibility in the use of the SharkBite as well. So there we go. The last way I'm going to show you to fix a damaged section of CPVC, let me get that guy real quick. All right, tried to escape, no more, is using a coupling like this. This coupling uses a rubber sleeve on each side that it compresses against the CPVC as you tighten the nut onto the fitting. Super simple to use. And they're not really supposed to be much more than hand tight. So what we do to use this is we slide the nut onto the CPVC, looking at the sleeve to make sure it doesn't have any conical shape to it. If it does, you have to pay attention to that shape. Going to slide that into place. That one's ready. Slide this one onto place. This one is ready. Now let me show you what's convenient about these couplers is that if you have a section of CPVC that's been damaged, it's just a small section. Because this coupler can slide further up the pipe, for instance, say that's the opening we have, all I have to do is move it far enough away to slide the coupler up past it, realign the pipes, and then slide the coupler further down. Now it's just a matter of tightening up the nuts that compress the rubber inside the fitting. Like I said, they don't need to be much more than hand tight. If you use a wrench on these, you'll probably break them. So don't worry about that. That is ready to be put into immediate service, have plenty of water pressure put on it, and it's good to go until the next problem with CPVC. So hang in there with that. All right, go get your project taken care of. I'll see you next time.